这场比赛其实悬念不大。
说着啊
Under 呢，虽然说在面对国内的神族选手的时候，的确是有几盘是赢过的，但是呢，阿斯翠亚他的这个高度已经很高了。Under 这场输的应该要比第一场打 Zero 更难看一点。你们真的不要太小看这个阿斯翠亚，他 PVZ 很强。这个人的 PVZ 相当的有实力。
Not really looking to block the expansion, but once he sees no hatchery and sees that was a gas pool, definitely can go back down there and block it. So Ender wanting to go for the quick Zergling speed. Now, this is a map with, of course, no ramp on your natural, bit of a wide wall off, which means that you're a bit vulnerable to like any of those classic Ravager Ling busts. I'm not saying that's necessarily what Ender would go for, but it's one of those many things that Australia needs to check for.
下去了，再不下去遭中了这个。
Quick gas opening from Ender.
Yep, if I was Australian,
这种慢狗开我也不知道他为什么要这么打，因为这样的一个慢狗开的这方式其实一点压力都没有。啊，就看到之后他根本就不用防，你就狗速快点而已。
You obviously start falling pretty far behind, but this is a very scary thing to scout as a Protoss when they have such quick access to their gas.
经济也不是很好，他上来其实就是慢狗开。
Close eye on everything that's heading your way, but the moment you lose this pro pick, it kind of becomes a guessing game.
兵营好了之后加个数，加个那个的数，加使徒的数就没有用了。
I would truly recommend an early shield battery in this scenario.
Yeah, always a good idea to have a bit of insurance there. And that Adept, of course, did get chrono boosted. And it looks like he does want to wall it off, but he doesn't quite have the money for the gateway and the pylon. So he does end up cancelling that one. And Adept pursuing the Zergling up into the main base.
你说过来侦查的话，其实
gives him a little bit of flexibility in the follow-up.
他把这个建筑啊，科技建筑放在门口的话，你这个侦查也没什么意义。 基本上来说的话，这个现在打到现在这个局面的话，其实阿苏亚这个前期的运营还是很有优势的。
Yeah, I think we only caught a little bit of it, but Australia actually misplaced this robo, so he had to cancel it and rebuild it. These are little things that do really start adding up, and we can see him sacrificing another natural because he's obviously respecting what he
这个其实在这个运营上来说的话，待会儿会落后很多啊。阿苏亚的 VR 科技非常快，他估计是一个能进出去然后骚扰。 主要看 Ender 怎么打吧，出不朽啊！出不朽的话，就很有可能是一个不朽的一波。但怎么说呢？一般来说，现在这种头上就有个房子的，你这种出不朽有意义？那真以为别人是傻子呢？看都看不到，不可能的。 单臂应该也没有不朽，他只是不朽去骚扰的同时开这个开矿。
Third base is about to finish. It's a real shame for Australia that he kind of went out with that probe and it went right past the third without seeing.
现在这个时间点对于 Ender 来说啊，是一个非常好补农民的时间。农民按照 因为对方反正是一个不朽的一个过来骚的一个战术啊，不朽不出门。 他怕 Ender 打这个狗族包一波，也行吧，只是说这个不朽不出门，我是没看懂。 在里面视频补下，看 Ender 怎么来防这两个使徒啊 ？Ender 的防守没有问题啊，这防的很，哎，反应没有反应，哎，他可以跑呀，4个农民啦，他可以跑呀，我靠，烦的一逼。差不多了，这正面牵制住 Ender 之后啊，家里面其实是可以这个开矿的，或者说你就直接打一波算了，也不要开矿了。
This is a really interesting because I feel like he's.
按照他这个打法，就感觉没什么好开的。
Keeps holding down that drone piece. He's kind of swapping between the two focuses here. I think he's struggling to get a read on what.
就一波了，这个一波，哎，我又想起了。 不好的回忆，妈个鸡！我就是被这种莫名其妙这种一波经常这种打死，气的一逼！我告诉你们，真的是气的一逼。
Careful! One Ravager takes a lot of damage and will fall. The second one gets force-footed in as well. At least grab one sentry at the tail end of that exchange, but
Under 蟑螂，是 Under 的爆兵能力还行。这个局面对，先小狗去绕一波路，对，哎，堵住。 好，让你堵，你也不敢出门。那这样的话，我下截后援，先截个叉，正面要变火蟑螂。哎，这个狗什么意思啊？妈个鸡，这狗，这什么东西啊？ 他你妈这个狗也太随意了吧！
Get on top of the immortals, activate the barriers while you're defending the front with roaches and ravages. It seems like that is still going to be Ender's plan, despite the fact that he just lost a whole bunch. I mean, he does have a lot of units out, and if the corrosive
本来完全是可以挡得住的，
it's actually possible.
真的本来完全可以挡得住，他那个狗真的死了。
He did lose quite a few Zerglings there. He needs to keep this hatchery alive, obviously, Pick. But I actually think it's doable.
感觉
Maybe the prism.
那狗再包上来，现在看能进的操作。退一步没有中火，再继续刷，死了。就是那波狗，那波狗真的是这路线选择真的是太有问题了。这个 Ender 打的实在不错，我已经看出来了。
Just will not go down, and their damage output is far too steady. Ender's last Ravage is getting cornered.
这个 Ender 的实力，我感觉，我感觉啊，应该比黄哥强。我知道黄哥肯定不会承认，但我就告诉你，应该是比黄哥强。当然你们也不会承认。
Just kind of waiting for those links to show up. The last two Ravages will fall, and Australia takes the 1-0 lead here. Well done by him. Obviously, I can imagine that this was a bit of an.
不，我知道的呀，这个是 MVP 的确比黄哥强呀，我一看就看出来了呀。你们黄哥怎么可能承认这种东西嘛？你们自己想是不是嘛？
I'm dead, you know, like I can't win this game anymore. My entire build order is
我承认。
Kept his calm.
我这个人，这个 Ender 其实不止5400，黄哥刚才说的有点少。 我觉得他至少在韩服至少有个5600、5700的水平。我看他打的，就包括跟 Cielo 打，包括跟Australia 打，我感觉就是给我的感觉啊，应该有个5600、5700的水平，肯定比黄哥要强。只能说黄哥那套12D 的确是让很多的重铸选手有点不适应。这个也很正常，因为我都不适应，你们想。
expected a push way quicker than it actually came out of Australia and built those units a bit earlier than was needed. Would have loved that. The final work account he ended on, about 45, was perfect. He just kind of built lings, then a few drones, then built the roaches, then a few more drones. If he went straight up there,
东南亚对东南亚，你东南亚区你能够出现至少也有个5600、5700的，你们说5700、5800可能稍微过了一点。 东南亚区，我告诉你们虽然说感觉上来说好像是就不咋地吧，但是你们要想，这个区也是有几个高手的，对不对嘛？
You probably have your units centered around your third. You only have one unit in the wall. I'm just gonna break down the wall and stream Zerglings inside of the natural and inside of the main. But instead, it was Australia who was going to attack into.
什么摸麦卡这种都在里面的，你们真以为他们是在搞笑的吗？不可能的呀！
Doesn't lose those 28 Zerglings. I still think he holds, even if he could have done his build order slightly more optimal, like he could have made more drones.
这个 Ender 绝对不是搞笑的，我就告诉你。
Those units alive, I really believe that was a holdable push.
Definitely, Kev. Lots more potential there. Just needs to kind of stitch all those pieces together, and it's very hard against Australia, who's such a talented Protoss player, someone who's so accomplished.
这个小伙子很强。
Of course, Australia has his eyes set, I think, on the next matchup. I think he's really already kind of trying to think about PvP
不肯承认他，我来承认他，我靠！
But he's got to focus on the here and now. As you said, he
我看
wins
他
the
赢了
game,
谁啊？
but not with the cleanest
他
start that you
是
want.
他在澳洲。 澳洲区出的线，澳洲区的冠军就他一个人来了，然后里面有什么什么普肉，然后什么摸麦卡这些，还有什么 Race Sky 这种。他基本上来说，在澳洲区算是很少的，很少所有选手。这个人很强的。
And if Ender once again goes for the opening that he keeps doing, maybe at this point Australia's like, well, that's just the way that he opens. And then all of a sudden it is one of those early Queen Zergling Nidus builds that can hit very hard. And if it goes up in your main pick, it's pretty much over.
黄哥心态不好，你妈的也不要说这种。黄哥呢，就打比赛的确是相对来说会比较弱一点，心态不好是黄哥一个最大的问题，对不对嘛？那这个没办法的呀，这就是黄哥呀。他每次比赛，你们自己想嘛，他黄哥是不是那种每次比赛说的好像自己很猛一样，但是每次比赛打下来，总是感觉就这里要么这里输，要么那里输，经常莫名其妙就输了，而且没有打出自己的水平，有没有这种事情吗？
Up in the top left-hand side.
对，这个大家都看得到的呀，这都是。
The Protoss player, the king of North America, it is Estrella.
这就是黄哥。
Newly crowned as that NA champion.
Well, as a Dutchman, I do like a variety of cheeses pick. In the bottom right side, we're looking at the main base of the man hailing from the Philippines. It is Ender.
不，我不一样。我打比赛的话跟平时不一样，平时可能水平没有那么强，但是比赛的时候我的这个发挥会比平时要好很多。哎 ，Ender 又是一个提速，我看啊，他好像啊这场他是拼一枪直接是14个农民直接提速我开拼一枪，然后再把农民补到17个。但阿帅有探路啊，那你这个就没有什么意义啊。Ender 的所有的打法都很奇怪。
Yeah, indeed. I've seen how much mayonnaise you eat.
我感觉他打法奇怪的一
and I can tell your people have been developing a lactose tolerance for a very long time, many generations.
Don't expose me like that on the broadcast. It's a healthy amount of mayo, okay?
A few French fries with your gigantic bowl of mayonnaise. Yes.
All right, and there is once again, guys, going for the pool and then the gas. I mean, normally people do this when
这个开局，你说好吗？我实在是想不到好的地方。首先经济很差，你只能说你狗速快一点，狗速快一点，在现在的这个神族的防守的这样的一个细节来说的话，是没有什么太多意义的。
Then maybe eventually just flip the switch and it's like this time it's not macro. This time we're Zergling.
狗速快点有什么用嘛
？If he's just gonna once again play macro from this, I'm a bit disappointed because StarCraft 2 is a hard game, and he's making it even harder on himself by putting himself economically behind it.
你现在狗速快你也打不进去，现在都是流行这种慢狗速，就是对方第一个过了这个门口的时候，对吧？你可能狗速都还没急，你慢慢来，在4分钟左右挤好就行了，都是这样挤狗速。所以我对这个打法我并不觉得非常好。
Dude, there's a reason. You know, in our region, there's always banelings in the corner of your base in Zerg vs Zerg. There's always a pylon. You know, you check those quarters.
你现在狗速好了有什么用呢？你这个经济那么差。
But that's still a nice tiny scout for Australia, right? Because if there was a roach warning,
经济真的是差了一逼。
by now, yeah, you were able to click on the extractor there as well, so you could see that Ender indeed pulled off 2 of the drones from that extractor. So. No, Australia can just kind of play a normal game. You have to worry a little bit about a Zergling flood, but if that's the only thing you have to worry about, your life already becomes a bit easier than also having to worry about banelings or ravages or roaches or perhaps even a nidus.
A little bit of theory craft while this game starts.
啊，所以又是这种战术 ，VR 开，然后出一个这个能进，这盘不是一波了，这盘就是光之关烧你，烧完你之后啊，直接开3矿。就他打了一盘之后，发现这个 Ender 其实爆兵还可以。上一局就是不受那波狗，可能就挡住。
Something like way out of the meta, you know, that Australia just never deals with, but I gotta say, hats off to Estrella. He's not taking risks with his units, but he keeps just sneaking probes out across. He sees the third base. He's really double checking everything.
好了，看这个能技能杀到什么东西啊？其实黄哥每次跟你们说 ZVP 怎么样，其实大多数情况下来说，黄哥的这个 ZVP 的他的打法，就是其默认良心说很适合大家。你们跟他打，你们学他的打法，你就会觉得。 就会打的相对来说会好稳很多，因为他所有的细节都还是做好的，这点我还是比较佩服的。
来了啊！
黄哥来了，
差了1分钟是什么意思啊？
刚刚还在催你，黄哥，我们
他们说差了1分钟，你几分几秒啊？
是吗？
你现在几分几秒啊？
我现在5分4分57，4分47、48。
哦，一样了。刚才我
那
个可能
毛差了1分钟，我靠！
可能刚才卡了一下啊，我刷了一下，刷了。哎呀，这个Australia打 Under 就是走个流程的事情，是不是嘛？看这 Under 脸都打歪了。
Oh, Pig, I want to see something that I can believe.
华哥，我刚才也说跟他们说了，你的所有的风格这种打法，其实非常适合，就非常适合这些玩家。
是很适合的呀，没错呀。
对，因为黄哥的所有的打法风格来说的话，其实就是
走流程呀。
你打完之后，你就会觉得很稳。
不是啊，就走流程呀。
对啊，走流程会觉得很稳，你的水平迅速会提高很快。
但到了一个水平之后就会卡住，但也够了。
我跟你说，有多少的水友，多少的观众能够到你这个水平？
哎呀，就我跟你们说这个叫什么来着？就是我的打法属于那种比较简单的那种打法，就像篮球的平民上篮一样。你只要把这一招学会了，你把我的很多战术学会了，你至少说你把这些都练纯熟一点，把我的这些细节都练纯熟一点，你打个5000多分是打得到的。
说的没错，不随便打
对吧？可能我的武功不是很高，但是至少还是一个比较正统的流程派选手，学院派选手。
Yep, I actually wouldn't mind if he would have recalled the prism there, but Estrella is very confident. He's like, nope, I don't need it. I can defend on 2 bases.
在这一点上，我觉得大家还是可以相信黄哥的。黄哥在这
自己都没5000分，你这么对我也他妈太不解太大了。这你妈！你这个对我误解也太大了。他妈这个 Under 已经
你妈的，哎，黄哥怎么可能没有5000分？你们真的是，
你们这个对我误解
啥呢？
感谢圣地
这个不是对黄哥的误解，这是对黄哥的侮辱。啊，这种插过去那么多，后面那么多不朽，
我靠，这个立场一格。
好厉害！他妈少林是18铜人啊，这。
Under 真的不行，走个流程差不多了啊。东南亚的打法是
迪克的飞机啊，黄哥大概在韩服大概有5500的实力，
最近不知道有没有，但我觉得我要冲到5500应该可以冲到的。
但是呢，我也有一说一，我刚才也说了，这个 Under 的确要比黄哥强，
强一点点吧，
对不对吧？大家实事求是嘛，
强一点吧。这打毛啊，这打这种卡在这里，你妈被秀，简直就是。他冷静掉了，哎，他冷静掉了。
干嘛冷静掉就不能打了？那么多不朽，我靠！这个不朽太夸张了
，5个不朽打仗的，妈堵在那里的。
Under 是澳洲区的冠军。
对呀，他怎么在澳洲区拿到的冠军啊？
妈，你别说他有点实力的，
我都傻了，你妈的，在澳洲区拿到冠军。